The worst crimes ever committed. Shocking stories of infamy. Throughout history, some crimes have shocked the world with their sheer brutality and inhumanity. Today, we'll uncover the stories of some of the worst crimes ever committed, the perpetrators behind them, and the justice that followed. These are not tales for the faint-hearted. They are narratives steeped in horror, depravity, and unimaginable cruelty. Join me as we delve into these chilling stories, exploring the minds of those who perpetrated such heinous acts and the tireless efforts of those who brought them to justice. Our first story takes us to the United States, where a seemingly charming man, Ted Bundy, hid a dark secret. Bundy was a serial killer, responsible for the deaths of at least 30 young women in the 1970s. Bundy's charm was his most dangerous weapon. With a disarming smile and a persuasive manner, he could easily win the trust of unsuspecting victims. Often, he would feign injury, pretending to be in need of help. This act of vulnerability would lower the defenses of his targets, allowing him to lure them into his trap. Behind this facade of congeniality lay a sinister predator. Bundy's crimes were methodical and brutal. He would abduct his victims, subject them to unimaginable horrors, and ultimately end their lives. His reign of terror spread fear across multiple states, leaving a trail of grief and devastation in his wake. Despite his heinous acts, Bundy's intelligence and charm made him an enigma to those who encountered him. He managed to escape custody twice, further cementing his reputation as a cunning and elusive criminal. In 1978, Bundy's luck ran out and he was finally apprehended. The trial of Ted Bundy was a media spectacle, drawing nationwide attention. Bundy was sentenced to death, and in 1989, justice was served as he was executed in the electric chair. From the United States, we move to the United Kingdom, where Dr. Harold Shipman committed one of the deadliest series of murders in history. Dr. Harold Shipman, a trusted general practitioner, used his position to carry out a series of murders that shocked the nation. His victims, mostly elderly women, sought his medical advice, never suspecting the malevolence behind his reassuring demeanor. Shipman would administer lethal doses of morphine, causing their untimely deaths. It was the suspicious death of Kathleen Grundy in 1998 that began to unravel Shipman's web of deceit. Grundy's daughter, suspicious of the circumstances surrounding her mother's death, alerted the authorities. This led to an investigation that uncovered a horrifying pattern of abuse and murder. Shipman's trial was a pivotal moment in British legal history. The sheer scale of his crimes, with over 200 confirmed victims, was staggering. The courtroom was filled with grieving families, each seeking answers and justice for their loved ones. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Shipman remained unrepentant. In 2000, he was sentenced to life imprisonment, with the judge stating that he should never be released. Shipman's story took a final tragic turn when he took his own life in 2004. His case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need for robust safeguards within the medical profession. In Austria, Josef Fritzl kept his daughter imprisoned in a secret basement for 24 years. For 24 years, Fritzl kept his daughter Elisabeth imprisoned in a hidden basement beneath their family home. During this time, she endured systematic abuse and gave birth to 7 children, all while being cut off from the outside world. The discovery of Fritzl's crimes came about when one of the children suffering from a severe illness was taken to the hospital. The unusual circumstances and Elisabeth's desperate plea for help led authorities to investigate further, unveiling the dark secret that lay beneath the Fritzl household. The trial of Josef Fritzl captivated the world. The details of Elisabeth's captivity and the conditions under which she and her children lived were horrifying. In 2009, Fritzl was sentenced to life imprisonment, ensuring that he would never be able to harm another person again. Elisabeth's strength and resilience in the face of such prolonged abuse is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Her story serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need for communities to look out for one another. Not all criminals fit the usual mold. Aileen Wuornos, one of the most infamous female serial killers in American history, claimed to have killed in self-defense while working as a sex worker. Aileen Wuornos's story is a complex tapestry of trauma, survival, and ultimately, murder. Born into a life of hardship and abuse, Wuornos turned to sex work as a means of survival. It was during this time that she committed a series of murders, claiming the lives of 7 men between 1989 and 1990. Wuornos asserted that her actions were in self-defense, stating that each of her victims had assaulted her. However, the evidence suggested a pattern of premeditated killings, with each murder following a similar modus operandi. This contradiction became a focal point of her trial and the subsequent media frenzy that surrounded it. Arrested in 1991, Wuornos's courtroom demeanor was erratic and unpredictable. Despite her claims of self-defense, the jury found her guilty and she was sentenced to death. In 2002, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection. Her story continues to resonate, serving as a stark reminder of the impact of violence and the complexities of the human psyche. Closer to home, the UK was rocked by the Moors murders, committed by Ian Brady and Myra Hindley in the 1960s. The Moors murders remain one of the most notorious and harrowing chapters in British criminal history. Ian Brady and Myra Hindley embarked on a campaign of terror, abducting, torturing and killing 5 children. Their crimes were marked by a chilling level of premeditation and brutality. The pair lured their victims with promises of fun and adventure, only to subject them to unimaginable horrors. The bodies of the children were buried on the desolate moors, a landscape that would come to symbolize the darkness of their deeds. The discovery of these graves shocked the nation and left an indelible scar on the collective consciousness. Brady and Hindley's capture came about when a relative witnessed one of the murders and alerted the authorities. The subsequent investigation revealed the full extent of their crimes, including tape recordings of their victims' final moments. Both Brady and Hindley were sentenced to life imprisonment, with the judge emphasizing the monstrous nature of their crimes. The Moors murders stand as a chilling reminder of the capacity for evil that can exist within humanity. Finally, we turn to California in the 1980s, where Richard Ramirez terrorized Los Angeles as the Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, instilled fear across Los Angeles with his spree of brutal crimes. Between 1984 and 1985, Ramirez committed a series of home invasions, murders, assaults, and thefts, targeting victims seemingly at random. His actions created an atmosphere of terror, with residents living in constant fear of becoming his next target. Ramirez's methods were particularly heinous. He would break into homes under the cover of darkness, attacking anyone he encountered with ruthless violence. His crimes were characterized by a mix of sadism and opportunism, with no apparent pattern to his choice of victims. The investigation into Ramirez's crimes was one of the largest in Los Angeles history. Detectives worked tirelessly, piecing together clues and following leads in an effort to stop the Night Stalker. The breakthrough came when a fingerprint left at one of the crime scenes was matched to Ramirez, leading to his identification and eventual capture. Ramirez was apprehended in 1985 after a group of vigilant neighbors recognized him and detained him until the police arrived. His story stands as a testament to the perseverance and dedication of law enforcement in bringing a dangerous predator to justice. These stories remind us of humanity's darkest depths, but also the resilience of those who fight for justice. While the scars of these crimes remain, they serve as a warning of what must never happen again. Each of these stories, while deeply disturbing, illuminates the unwavering pursuit of justice. The victims and their families have endured unimaginable pain, yet their strength and courage have ensured that the memory of their loved ones endures. As we reflect on these harrowing tales, let us also recognize the resilience of the human spirit. These stories, while dark, also shine a light on the indomitable nature of humanity.